It is Saturday, November 15th, and I hope you're having a great night. I'm T. Waldron. This is my cat, Pumpkin. She's 17 and almost a week. Yes, you are. You're doing great. And I want to say thank you to our moderator, Imran Hossain. He does a great job moderating our lives, and he's also a fantastic SEO YouTube specialist that makes beautiful thumbnails and has driven a lot of traffic to my site. So thanks, Imran, for all you do. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a great evening or morning, actually, wherever you are. Again, it is Saturday night, and I just wanted to share with you something that I have to do tomorrow, and I get to do tomorrow. It's a tea party. I've got to go and be like a added little entertainer at a tea party in between, so maybe for 15-20 minutes. So I was gonna do a whole thing about not being stressed for the holidays and all this, and I said, you know what? It's at a church, so I said, you know, I'm gonna do something to do with the church. Hey Keith, welcome. Good evening, my friend. Good to see you. Hi, Raul. Yeah, thank you. She's, like I said, she's 17 and she's very energetic, right, Pumpkin? Yeah, you are. Let's start out by doing a little bit of deep breathing together. So if you get a chance, close your eyes. Let's inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. And we just do this every time to go within, to give ourselves a little treat, to give ourselves a little energy, and to say thank you to our inner soul for carrying us through the day, for being there, for being the energy center that we need to live our best lives. So inhale. Excellent. We're slowing our breath down, relaxing, taking a few moments just for you. And I'll take a few moments just for me, and we'll take a few moments just together. And exhale. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm trying to be my best self on every level possible, and one of them is slowing down and learning how to get to know and to love myself and to be my best self. I hope that resonates with you. Inhale healing energy. Beautiful. And exhale. Nice. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. I'm still slowing my breath down. I was running around just before, so thank you for joining me in this relaxing breath work here. Inhale. And exhale. Excellent. Okay. Hey there. Hi, Sam Kronos. Thank you. Yeah, she's a British short hair. And like I said, she's 17 if you just joined us, so welcome. Hi, Michael. Yeah, by the end of this breathing session, realize how deeply you melt into your deepest peace and comfort. Now and in the future, with every healing breath. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, she does look like a little mountain lion, doesn't she? Okay, so welcome this evening or morning, wherever you are. But I was just sharing with the folks that were on a minute ago that I'm doing a presentation tomorrow at a tea party, and there's going to be like 80 folks there. So it's a big one, which I'm honored to be at. Yeah, I'm 55. Yeah, this is my cat. She is Pumpkin. She is a very spry 17-year-old cat, right, Pumpkin? Yeah, she doesn't know she's 17. She's just she's here every day for the live, and I just wanted to say Welcome if you're new. So yeah, so this program I'm doing tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the history of a song. So what is arguably, and I did a video about this a while ago, so if you know my channel, you might know this answer already. Hang on, let me read what you guys are up to. Yeah, we do. We match. We have the same color hair. Let's see. Your Ghost in the Machine offering healing strategies online. Beautiful. Not public speaking yet. Okay. Oh, thank you. So, yeah. So what is the most common Christian hymn that you can think of? Does anything come to mind? I'll give you a hint. It was originally a poem written in 1772 by John Newton. It's a spiritual autobiography describing joy and peace of a soul spared from both physical and spiritual ruin. And he bought the gift of grace. That's right, Keith. Amazing Grace. So true. It was originally a poem, though. I didn't know that when I started researching this. This is a fascinating story. So, John Newton, when he started out, he was not religious at all. In fact, he used to mock people who went to church and believed in God, and he would make fun of them and try to get them to turn away from their faith, which surprised me when I found this out, right? But it's how he started out. He had so many things happen to him throughout his life. Yeah, songs and poems are similar. Yeah, he hi, time for everything. Welcome. Yeah, songs and poems are similar. So it started as a poem, and then his friend ended up writing the music to it. And then there's a story to that at the end too. But as a kid, he was mocking people. He said, "Don't believe in God," you know. And if people did have faith, he would mock them and try to get them to turn away from God. And then he had several things happen to him in his life. When he was a young man, his friends and he and his friends were supposed to go check out this boat that was in the harbor. So his friends were all on the dinghy. He was running late, and he missed the little boat that was going out to the other ship. And their boat capsized and killed all of his friends, and he was late, and he was spared. He was sad his friends passed, but I mean, his life was saved, right? Yeah. He was born in 1725 in London, which at that time was a thriving sea hub, and his father was a merchant, so he was often away for months at a time. During one of his absences, John Newton's mother passed away, unfortunately. So he went to friends of the parents in Kent called the Catlett family. Okay, and he stayed with them until his dad got home from sea. In the meantime, one of the daughters named Mary was there, and he fell in love with Mary. So throughout his whole life, he loved her. After he fell in love with her living there, he was just like, oh my gosh, I love Mary. She was the cornerstone of his existence. No matter what happened to him, his goal was always to come back home to her. So his youth, like I said, he had low self-control, no discipline. His father was a Catholic, educated by Jesuits, and his mother was a non-conforming Christian. But when he was a young adult, he was thrown from a horse and narrowly missed hitting his head on these spikes that were on the ground. Yeah, there's a whole, we'll get to that. He was actually a traitor, yeah, but we'll get to that in a sec. Hang on a sec. Yeah, Keith, they believe in verbal medicine, yes. Yeah, thanks for asking, Swirlita. Yeah, either believe in God or luck or fate in the situation. Yeah. So unexpected circumstances made him a witness to grace. That is so true. So as I said, he was thrown from a horse, almost died. He missed it. Years later, he was on a hunting expedition in Africa, and he and his friends were in this swamp, and they were using the moon to guide themselves to get out of the swamp. And the clouds came and covered the moon and left them in total darkness. They couldn't see anything. And they resigned themselves to die there in the swamp. And suddenly the clouds moved and the moon came out and they were able to get out. So they were saved there. In 1744, he was forced into the Royal Navy. But he did such a terrible job at being in the Navy that his commander traded him for another person as a slave ship passed. So that was his introduction to the slave trade. And that began his career in slave trading, because he soon became tempted by the prophets for this terrible situation. At that time, merchants believed that if they were trafficking slaves, it was justified since it was permitted in the Bible, as long as the slaves were treated with dignity and kindness. He was felled by malaria in Sierra Leone, where he was immobilized, and he was abused by another slave trader's mistress who had lived there. She reduced him to the condition of the wretch, and which he later described in Amazing Grace. He eventually recovered and freed himself from her. So he had, like, up until this point, he had like 4 or 5 situations where he almost died or was whatever. Newton was aboard a ship one night when a violent storm came up out of nowhere. Moments after he left the deck for his shift, the person that replaced him was washed overboard and killed, obviously. He realized his helplessness at that moment and concluded that only by the grace of God could he be saved. And in the words of the song, that marked the hour he first believed. So Newton went back to England. He married Mary in 1750. And then he switched over. He encouraged people to start praying. Let me see what you guys have been saying in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, Raul, hi. Yeah, hi, Remember. You have fans, Pumpkin. Yeah, she's a good cat. Sometimes the universe is too real, right? Thanks, Imran. Yes, Imran's doing a great job, by the way. So he went back, married Mary. He married Mary in 1750, and he encouraged his sailors to start believing in God and praying. However, it would be another 40 years before he openly challenged the trafficking of slaves. 3 years after their wedding, he had a stroke, so he couldn't go back to sea. So right near his house was a church, and he had written letters about his conversion and how suddenly he believed in God. And the person who was in charge of the post offered him the church post, even though he didn't even have a divinity degree. He wasn't a reverend, which was pretty amazing. And so he was ordained in 1764. As a pastor, he met the poet William Cowper, also a new Christian, and they had a spiritual collaboration, which led to the inspiration for Amazing Grace. So 60 years later in America, it was put to the tune New Britain. So I guess Cowper just helped him write it. That was pretty amazing. But Newton joined the fight for abolition of slavery by publishing the essay Thoughts Upon the African Slave Trade, because Christians still felt slavery was justified in the Bible. He wisely avoided building protests on a religious platform. Instead, he condemned the practice as inhumane treatment of their fellow man and women, which included torture, rape, and murder. So, he was on the wrong side of a lot of things. Most glaringly the slave trade, but then he realized his mistake, and not that makes up for any of his actions, but so Amazing Grace was written by a man who was moved to speak out against something he was moved to speak out against something from which he once profited. And in an essay, Newton said, "It will always be a subject of humiliating reflection to me that I was once an active instrument in a business at which my heart now shudders. Thus it seemed fitting that this hymn has become for so many, including those fighting for civil rights, an anthem against all forms of social injustice." So I thought that was an interesting story. And it basically just goes to show if we, you know, if we're open to the messages that God or the universe is sending us, we can totally turn our life around, or we can be strengthened in whatever we're doing if it's helping people. So I don't know. I just found that story very inspiring. What do you guys think? Was that inspiring or no? Yeah. Half of that wasn't under Christian law or rule. Yeah. Yeah, humans can be stubborn. That is true. So, wow, what do you think? Oh, yeah, she's 17. Her name is Pumpkin. Yeah, she does. I know she has a very disapproving look on her face. Huh. Do you look like Garfield? I know. All right. So anyway, I have to practice this song. So are you guys ready? Everybody's been asking me to play guitar, and I do know a couple of songs. I started out with church guitar when I was a kid, and so here we go. I'm gonna practice this because I'm gonna sing it tomorrow for wow, this guitar looks really big. It's not that big. It's a regular size. But okay. Let me see. Before Christ, it was Judaism. Yeah, she is 17. I know. Can you believe it? You're very spry. Yes. Judaism. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Okay. Aw, you miss your auntie? Take care. Yeah, thanks. It does, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope you guys had a great night and a great afternoon and a great evening wherever you are. Thank you. Appreciate that, Google Chrome. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow night at 8. I honestly, yeah, I don't know any, I have to really, I go on guitar chords. So if it's like A, C, or G, I got it. But anything like a B flat and stuff, very hard, very difficult. I'll look it up and see if I can do it. Yeah, so I really appreciate your patience for tonight. Thanks for letting me practice, because I just want to be ready to be in front of 80 church ladies tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. It's all good. Listen, if anybody has something rude to say, number one, thank you, Imran, for keeping the chat positive and clean. And number two, it's just a reflection on them. And I hope you feel better. Whoever's putting rude comments out there, it's not necessary, but it's okay. Because what you think of me is none of my business. Yeah. Do you like chocolate? I just did play Amazing Grace. rewind because I just did it, and I have to maybe tune it up a thing. Yeah, we reap what we sow, exactly. It's all good. Um, so yeah, tomorrow we'll have a live at 8 p.m. and I'm hoping to get another video edited from Dr. Bernie Siegel because he's amazing. Yeah. Add a Q&A. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, her name is Pumpkin. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. I hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll have a topic tomorrow. Tonight was more a practice. So thanks for letting me practice my little story. I'm going to work on that and memorize it a little bit better. Yeah, I don't, you know what, Alex? I really have to learn some other, I have to learn some other songs, but those sound very nice. I know a lot of Catholic ones. I don't know a lot of the just general Christian ones, but I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? From myself to yourself, thanks for joining me on this journey. And if you're new to the channel, please check it out. You might find other videos you're like, this was just a little unusual evening. All right, take care. Bye, Samuel. Thank you so much. Bye, Keith. Have a great one. Take care, everybody. Bye, Pumpkin. Say goodbye.